You're next.
Hello. I think Brenda's right. I think we need more police. We already have a landlord ordinance that is cumbersome. Many parts of it are unconstitutional, which makes them null and void, but not the whole thing because of your statements. These ordinances are too cumbersome, and it doesn't allow us to address the real problem. So how did we end up with our city full of crime, full of drug dealers, full of non-working people? Our city government has created this problem by taxing all the working people out of this
Let's
city.
stay on the ordinances. You
Well-
can speak later. We're talking about the pending legislation right now.
Yes.
Not
So
too far off.
this problem has been created. So how do we solve it? Okay, you say that, oh, there won't be any chance of selective enforcement. I'm a prime example of selective enforcement. I had a $1,000 fine levied against me, and there was nothing wrong with my property because I didn't follow the rules specifically, and I was late in an inspection that I didn't even know I needed. How many rental properties are in this city that are not getting inspected? The only ones that are actually required are the people on Section 8, because the Housing Authority, which comes in and inspects every year, they require a submission to the city that they require a city inspection. All these other homes, there's plenty of rental properties in this city that don't comply with the ordinance, and actually there's nothing requiring them to comply with the ordinance. So what we need to do is find out, okay, what rental properties do we have? Are we targeting Section 8 people, which would be probably unconstitutional or selective enforcement, because we're going to only poor people's residents have to be inspected by the city or else they won't get Section 8. And I don't know all the answers to this, but I don't think another ordinance that's not enforced is going to solve the problem. We also know that there's a selective non-enforcement. Brenda's property, she called over 100 times, and nobody came to help her evict that drug dealer on the other half of her house.
Amen.
And we have had other people in this city who have sat here and said, I have been coming here for 2 years, there's needles on the street, why haven't you done anything? So one new piece of legislation isn't going to solve this problem. Let's figure out, let's get the police. I live on South Wells Street. We just had a murder there. That house, the people hanging out, if we had had officers patrolling, sitting there watching, I've seen drug deals on this street and they aren't involved with any of the homes on the street. It's just, this is where they come to buy their drugs. And they sit out there in their car, and the people show up, and the drug dealers in the car here, and the people show up in a car over here, go over to this car, hand them the money, take the drug, and I stand there and I stare at it. I'm hoping that maybe they're smart enough that, you know, one of these days somebody's going to call in on them. But that has nothing to do with any of these properties. And we close down these homes, they're going to get boarded up, more boarded up homes. We're out there delivering the Independent Gazette, and I'll tell you, man, these homes, there are so many boarded up homes, and the copper thieves are going to love this ordinance, because every boarded up home gets broken into, and all the copper and all the electrical wiring gets stolen. So, I think it's time to take a step back and figure out a better way, a different way. Maybe if we have a forum and have landlords and tenants get together and sit down and discuss other options besides making another rule that's only selectively enforced and only certain people are gonna pay the price, and in many cases, it's gonna be women and children, and I just don't think it's good. But that's my point of
If
view.
you know of rental properties that are not licensed or inspected, we need to know. And all of us turn these in on an occasional basis, people tell us about them. And as you know, the fines are significant for those types of properties, because you're a responsible property owner, you get your property inspected, it's not fair to you that somebody else doesn't. We need to know about them. If they're out there, you know somebody in your neighborhood has a rental property that isn't being inspected or has not been registered, let us know.
I would never turn somebody in because I
You're
think
paying.
your ordinance is garbage.
Uh,
Where you can go into a person's home and they've shown no, every 2 years you can go in, and when there's been no problems, and this is their home. So what if they're renting? It is their private home.
We need to make it safe for everyone. Thank you.